शङ्करांश भूम शङ्करार्यपीठसद्गुरुन् शुद्धसत्त्वभासुरान् सुवर्त्मनीतभूसुरान् सर्वभूतसौख्यदान् क्षमाकरान् यतीश्वरान्.
श्रीमते शंकरार्याय धीमते भूतशक्तये नमोऽस्त्वद्वैत सिद्धान्त स्थापनोपात्तमूर्तये श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्. अपरोक्षानुभूतिर्वै प्रोच्यते मोक्षसिद्धये सद्भिरेव प्रयत्नेन वीक्षणीया मुहुर्मुहुः. So after having seen the verse that talks about the prarabdha karma, which this text holds is not ultimately real, that is the 92nd shloka, karma janmantriyam yat prarabdhamiti kirtitam tatto janmantara abhavat pumsaha naivasti karhichite. Since the realization is that I have never been a jiva at all, at any time. I have not generated any karma at all. So no karma has accumulated to me. And there can't be any prarabdha karma to me. So with this realization, the very possibility of prarabdha karma is denied. So after that, the reasoning for that is further established in the next shloka, 93.
स्वप्नदेहो यथा अध्यस्तः तथैवायं हि देहकः अध्यस्तस्य कुतो जन्म जन्माभावे हि तत् कुतः. स्वप्नदेहे, body of a dreamer, yatha, just as, adhyastah, superimposed, tatha eva, so too I am, this, he, verily. Dehakaha, body of the waker, adhyastasya, of the superimposed, kutaha, where, janmaha, janma, birth, janma bhave, in absence of birth, he indeed, tat, that, andre prarabdha, kutaha, where.
So he is giving the analogy of the body that is seen in our dream, which is definitely not real. So I am the dreamer. I have a dream experience, and in that dream, I see myself also there. So the dreamer me is definitely different from the one who is seen inside the dream. So upon waking, the dreamer I has woken up, but then the one seen in the dream, inside the dream, has doing this or that, all that is now not real at all. That is understood to be that event itself has not happened. So there was no such person as who appeared in the dream at all, really. So that is the realization. So here he says, just as the dreamer, the body or the person seen in the dream is not real, yatha adhyastaha, it is like superimposition, tataiva ayam hi dehakaha. In the same way, this waking person is also a superimposition alone. It's not real at all. Adhyastasya kuto janma bhavehi tatkutaha. So that which has been superimposed has not at all come into existence really at all. So that person who is seen in the dream, who is a superimposition, he was not at all born. So when such is the case, even with the waking person who is considering himself to be a jiva, an entity and all that, and going about his transactions, even such a person has not at all been born at all at any time. So when such is the case, there is no way there can be any prarabdha karma to such a person, because since that person himself was not born, there is no question of that person doing any real karma, and so no karma can attach to him, no karma can accumulate and later on give the fruit in the form of prarabdha karma. So in the commentary, the Acharya says, Swami Vidyaranya, Purvoktam Drishtantam Vivaranmanne Sakarana Janma Abhave Yuktimaha Swapneti. So Sakarana Janma Abhave, that is the Janma which is Adhyastha is not possible at all. It is not there at all. That kind of janma cannot happen at all. The adhyastha cannot be born at all. So when such thing is there, there can't be any prarabdha at all. Yuktimaha swapneti. Janma bhave tat prarabdham kutaha. Okay, so we are reminded of very nice Vivek-Shramani's verse, which we have seen more than once in the past. So I'll read out that shloka, which is very much helpful in appreciating this shloka that we have seen just now. So in Vivek-Shramani, it is 165th shloka, 165. Chaya sharire pradibimba gatre yat swapnadehe priti kalpitange yatha yat atmabuddhistava nasti kachit jivat sharire cha tathaiva mastu. So the Acharya there in the shloka is giving 4 instances where the entity that is seen and experienced very well by us is understood by us without anybody teaching us that it is not real. So it is all in our day-to-day experience. Chaya sharire, the first one is the shadow. So we see our own shadow, but then we don't take that shadow to be real. But then that shadow is seen as so very similar to our own body. So we even sometimes know that it is my shadow, but we don't kind of take it as real. Chaya sharire pratibimba gatre. That is, this one is the reflection of me seen in a mirror. So I see myself in the mirror, but then I don't consider that reflection seen in the mirror to be real. Then yet swapna dehe. So here, this is what is stated in this Aparokshanubhuti sloka now. Yet swapna dehe. So what person I saw as myself and recognized as myself and believed to be myself in the dream, during the dream experience, is known to be unreal upon waking. So that what we the waking experience, the post-waking dream recollection tells me that the dream event itself did not happen. The dream was there; it was experienced by me. That is fine. But then whatever happened in the dream really did not happen at all. So that is the realization. Yet swapna dehe, then hridi kalpitange. That is in a kind of a reverie, or in a when we are planning some future event where we ourselves are involved, when we are graphically simulating, or when we are graphically thinking of that future event where we are involved, there also that me inside the imagination is not real. For example, if we are planning to visit a very famous picnic spot like Joke Falls or something like that in the coming week, then I will be imagining that I will be taking my family, so many things and all that, and going there and spending 1 or 2 days there, staying in a lodge or something like that, and enjoying the scenery and the Joke Falls and all that. So when I'm doing that, where now sitting at home, I will be graphically imagining all that. But then I myself know that all that thing is not real, because it might happen, it may not happen. So I am only simulating this, and with the full understanding and the full knowledge that what I am now imagining is not real at all. So there also I know very well that that person, that is me, inside that reverie or imagination is not real. So these 4 instances are given: Chaya, Sharira, shadow, and shadow, the reflection in the mirror, the dream me, and the reverie me. So yatha atma buddhihi tava nasti. So it is very well known even to me, without anybody teaching me, that I don't identify myself with those entities which are created in a dream or shadow or whatever. So nasti kvachite jivat sharirecha tathaiva mastu. So in the same way, you do not get identified with the body that is living, that is alive, jivat sharira. So this is the Vivek-Shramani sloka that I wanted to refer here. Okay, next sloka. Upadanam.
Upadanam prapanchasya mrudbhandasyeva katyate ajnanam chaiva vedantais tasmin nashte va vishvata. Upadanam, the material cause, prapanchasya, of the world, mrudbhandasya, of the mud pot, eva, like, katyate, said. Ajnanam, ignorance, cha, and eva very Vedantaihi in this by the scriptures tasmin nashte, when that is destroyed, kva where Vishwata, the universe.
So after having spoken about the body imagination, now he is coming to the universe imagination. Upadanam prapanchasya mrit bhandasya iva kachyate. The substratum or the material cause of the universe is stated to be ajnanam. See, we all know that we have been taught that the material cause of the universe, that is the upadana karanam, is Brahman. So that aspect is also implied here, but it is not explicitly stated. It is implied by the word cha, that the commentator Swami Vidyaranya brings it out. So upadanam prapanchasya mrit bhandasya iva. Bhandam is the pot or the clay product. So the clay, just as the clay is the material cause of the clay product, the same way this ajnanam, ignorance, the mula ajnanam, which is admitted in the Shastra to be an existent entity, although it is a appearance only, but still it is not a non-existent entity like a hare's horn. Because if that had been the case, that could not be a cause for anything. See, the hare's horn cannot be cannot be a thing that the artist or artisan wants to make something. So an artisan will look for a real horn, and he will carve out something and chisel out something, and then he will display it as a product for sale. But then the hare's horn cannot be made into an art object at all, because that object itself is not existing. So it cannot be a cause for anything. Whereas this ajnanam, even though it is ultimately unreal, still it is producing the effects which we are experiencing also. But then only on analysis, we come to know that this ajnanam is false. It doesn't have an existence of its own. It was only an appearance. And what all it caused also is an appearance. So here the Acharya wants to say that this ajnanam is one of the material cause, one of the material causes that goes into making the universe. The other one being Brahman. So here, when between the ajnanam and between Brahman as both as material cause, the Shastra makes a distinction by giving a nomenclature. Ajnanam or avidya or prakriti or maya is the parinami upadana karanam for the jagat, and Brahman is the vivarta upadana karanam. So parinami upadana karanam is the straight transformation of mula prakriti into the avyakta, ahankara, and pancha tanmatras, that is pancha sukshma bhutas, and after that the panchikaranam and the pancha sthula bhutas, the bhautika prapancha, the body mind complex, and the objects of the world, all the physical objects of the world, like oceans, forests, and all that, and all the space, the 14 lokas and all that. So that is the way the Maya gets transformed in a sequential order, whereas Brahman is the vivarta upadana karanam, in the sense that Brahman alone appears to be the world. So the Brahman is wrongly seen to be the world. So that is called just like the rope is wrongly seen to be a snake. So there that's the example for Vivartavada. Whereas for the Parinamavada, the example given in the Shastra or in the other text is milk turning into curd, or clay being used for making clay products. So clay transforming into clay products. So that is the example for Parinamavada. But then Bhagavad in the Chandogya Upanishad, 6th chapter, that is the Shvetaketu context, there the Upanishad itself teaches that the clay is the material cause of the clay products and all that. But then the clay products as themselves are not real, whereas they are real only as the clay that is a material cause. So there, on several occasions, Bhagavad uses the rope snake example along with the clay pot example. So there, Bhagavad is actually reducing the difference between the Parinamavada example and the Vivartavada example, and he is making the Parinamavada example also into Vivartavada example. So that is the idea. So because he is having support of the Shruti, because the Shruti itself is saying the effect, that is the karyam, has got a different level of existence ontologically, whereas the cause has a different level of existence. So that is why the Upanishad also very clearly says Vrittiketyeva Satyam. So it accords Satyatvam only to the Vrittika. That is the material cause of the pot. But then it says that a pot, which is only a name that you have given, is not real. Namadeyam, Vacharambanam, Namadeyam, Vrittiketyeva Satyam. So there are two levels of realities. The Upanishad itself makes, in the case of the Parinamavada example itself. That is why Bhagavad Pada is very bold in giving the rope snake example along with it. So in the rope snake example, the rope has a higher level of reality when compared to the superimposed snake there. So snake has got a lower level of reality in the sense it is having only a dependent reality. The reality actually of the actual reality of the rope is transferred by mistake by the person who is having the illusion experience. So instead of calling it a rope, he is wrongly calling it a snake. So what he is saying, while he says that there is a snake here, which I am very clearly witnessing or experiencing, and I am very feeling afraid of also of that. Fear also has is the effect of that. He is very clear that there is a snake. The existence of snake is not doubted by him. So what he has done is he has actually transferred the existence of the rope to this snake, which is not there really. So that is the situation there. So in the same way, the consideration that the clay products are all real by the common people who have not given to inquiry, the Upanishad says that that kind of a perception is a wrong perception. It is not the correct, right perception, which persons with the intention of knowing the truth seekers will not fall into this trap. That's what the Upanishad very clearly says there. That's why Bhagavad Pada gives the rope snake example along with the clay pot example. So here in this sloka, Upadanam Prapanchasya Brit Bhandasya Iva Kachyate, it is stated in the world. In the same way, the Upadanam of the world is Ajnanam, Cha Eva. The Cha, the commentator points out that the Cha refers to Brahman as the Upadana Karanam, along with Ajnanam as the Upadana Karanam. So that's why I made a distinction. Ajnanam or Mula Prakriti or Maya or Avidya is the Parinami Upadana Karanam, and Brahman is the Vivarta Upadana Karanam. So Chaiva, Vedantai, that is Upanishads, Tasmin Nashte, Kwa Vishwada. So Vedanta, that Upanishads hold the Ajnanam and Brahman to be the Upadana Karanam of the world. When the Avidya, that is the cause for making this happen, is disappearance to happen, when that is dispelled by Atmajnanam or the Akadakara Vritti or the direct realization, where can be the world at all? So the world is the question of the world existing at all. Even that question is not logical at all here in this situation. That's what the shloka says. So here the commentator Acharya Swami Vidyaranya has a lot of things to say here. So we will enter into the commentary part of it. Nano Dehadi Prapanchasya Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante Yen Jatani Jivanti Yatrain Abhisam Vishanti. That is the Taittiriya Upanishad mantra, which talks about the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the world from Brahman. Yatova Imani Ityadi Shrutehe Satya Brahma Janyatva Janyatvat Dehadi Prapanchasya Satya Brahma Janyatvat. So the Upanishad, this mantra teaches, see, the Swami Vidyaranya has very carefully worded this commentary while mentioning the Taittiriya Upanishad. Actually, the Taittiriya Upanishad mantra, when you see the mantra straight away, that is Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante. So the Bhutani means there, it will appear that the Panchabhutas are being spoken of. But actually, the living beings, the Jivas, are what are referred to by that word Bhutani. But how do we know that? the word Jayante is there. Jayante means they are born. See, Panchabhutas are not born, they are created. But then the birth takes place only for, birth is accepted only for the living beings. So, Bhutani Jayante, even Jivanti, that word Jivanti also is furthermore clear. It very clearly says that Jivanti means nobody says that Panchabhutas are alive in sustenance. No, only the Jivas are said to be alive, Jivanti. Jiv Pranadharane, that is the Dhatu also for that. So, Pranadharanam has to be there whenever you use the word Jivanam. So, Jivanti, yet Prayanti Abhisamvishanti. So, upon destruction, the Jivas enter into Brahman, lapse into Brahman, Abhisamvishanti. So that is the Tad Brahma, that is the Shruti passage. So, so there is no question of, it would appear that the creation of the world, which is very popularly associated with this mantra, creation, sustenance, and destruction of the world, that when you look at the mantra wordings, it would not be possible for us to include the world here. So that's why, but then the Acharyas have given a commentary to that, saying that this, even though the Jivas are actually mentioned there in that mantra, it should be taken to be an Upalakshana as an indicator for the world also, for the Jada Prapancha also. So that's what the commentators have pointed out. That's why Swami Vidyaranya says, Dehadi Prapanchasya. So the body-mind complex is also included in the creation. Adipatena, the other, inert world. Actually, the Dehadi means that is also inert only. But then, if we see the wordings of the mantra, as I just pointed out, Jivanti and all that, it is of a sentient entities. But then the other prapancha, that is the world, outside world, which is totally inert. So the inert and the sentient both form the world. So this dual, inert and the sentient, they come out from Brahman alone. So that's what the Acharya says now. Dehadi prapanchasya etova imani bhutani ityasutehe satya brahma janyatvat. So that Brahman. So here also Swami Vidyaranya is so nicely including the Swarupa Lakshanam also along with the Tatastha Lakshanam. Normally, this Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante is said to be the Tatastha Lakshanam for Brahman. That is the indirect or the secondary or the not essential. It is not essential. It's not the essential or inherent nature of Brahman. This creatorship of the world and the sustainership and the destroyership and all that is not the real inherent nature of Brahman. That's why this is called the Tatastha Lakshanam. Whereas the Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman is brought up from the other passage in the Taittiriya itself, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So that passage brings out the Swarupa Lakshanam. So here, Bhagavad Swami Vidyaranya says Satya Brahma Janyatvat. So this world has come out from the Brahman, which is Satyam, Jnanam Anantam Brahman. That is the Swarupa Lakshanam. Also, it is bringing here. Actually, even in the Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante, Acharyas have shown that this mantra itself, it might look like it is a Tatastha Lakshana, but the Swarupa Lakshana also is there found in that mantra itself. So they have a method of establishing or bringing out the Swarupa Lakshana also in that mantra. Yatova Imani Bhutani Jayante, they show that the wording here, Yataha means from which. So from which this whole universe has come out. So what they say is, it is actually Brahman is not participating at all in this process. The world is said to be coming out from Brahman. So that means Brahman does not have any direct active role at all in creation. It is only the Upanishad is pointing to Brahman as a creator who is a passive participant in this creation process. So that is enough for the Acharyas to show that it is also the Swarupa Lakshanam also. It is not simply the Tatastha Lakshanam, it is also the Swarupa Lakshanam. So what is the Swarupa Lakshanam of Brahman? The Upanishads have accepted that it is Nishkriyam, Nishkalam, Shantam, Niravayam and all that. So it is Nishkriya. It does not have any activity at all. Why? It is because it does not have a body-mind complex at all. That is why it has no activity. So while on the face of it, the Yatova Imani Bhutani mantra might appear that the Brahman is the creator of the world, Brahman is the sustainer, and Brahman is the destroyer of the world. A closer examination of the passage itself will reveal, as the Acharyas point out, that it is not so. Brahman does not have an active role at all in creation. It is only a passive entity there. It is not, it can't be even said to be a participant. So only in the association of Maya or Prakriti, the Brahman appears to be having a role there. So having said that, Satya Brahma Janyatwate, Katham Pratibhasikatvam iti chet uchate. So when the real Brahman is said to be the cause of this whole world, which includes the body-mind complex of all beings, how can you say that this is an appearance? That's the question. Katham Pratibhasikatvam iti chet uchate. For that, the reply is coming from the shloka, Upadanamiti. So just like the play plays the Upadana Karanam of pot, which the Upanishad itself says that which is not real, the pot is not real. In the same way, the Ajnanam is said to be the Upadana Karanam of the Prapancha, which the Shrutis accept, which is also not real. That is the effect that the Prapancha is also not real. So the effect is not real, whereas the cause alone is real. But then when we do that, when we say that finally, when the effect is not given any place at all as a real entity, and the cause alone is admitted to be a real entity, then what happens is there is no, that is the next level, there is no real use in having these two words, two labels like cause and effect, because we have now discarded the effect totally, completely, that it is not existing at all. And now that is because it doesn't have an existence apart from the cause, that is the material cause. So now the next level is to remove the cause label for the clay. So since the pot cannot exist without the clay, now what we have done is we have given up the usage of the word pot. That is in this context, in this framework. Then the next level will be to give up the name cause for the word, for the clay. So clay also need not be called a cause because there's no effect at all. So since we have demolished the concept of the effect, karyam, there is no use or there is no purpose in continuing to have the label cause for clay. So that is the idea. So in the same way, the same thing happens with respect to Brahman also. The first level, Brahman is presented to be the cause of the creation, but later on in the Chandogya Upanishad itself, in the advanced portions of that 6th chapter itself, it shows that the world which is made up of the Panchabhutas, there of course it is 3 Bhutas, is non-distinct from the 3 Bhutas because the 3 Bhutas alone are real in the world. The world is as an effect is unreal, whereas as the cause alone, that is the 3 Bhutas, it is real. Then at the next higher level, since the 3 Panchabhutas or the 3 Bhutas have come out from Brahman, the Bhutas themselves are not real as Bhutas, they are real only as Brahman. So now what has happened is the whole world is the Bhautika Prapancha, the Panchabhutas and the Bhautika Prapancha, the material, the elements and the elementals, everything is now discarded as unreal. So what remains as unnegatable is the Brahman, where at this stage there is no need to call Brahman as a cause. So in the same way here also, Atra Karanam Vividam. So now the Acharya goes on to give an explanation about, he is giving a definition of what is Nimitta Karanam and what is Upadana Karanam. Karanam Vividam, Nimitta Upadana Vedat. So there are 2 types of causes. The cause is said to be of 2 types in the Vedanta Shastra. And of course, the other Shastras also accept this, when they might give some different names. So, Nimitta Upadana Vedat. Tatra Nimittam Nama Utpatti Matra Karanam. So, the Nimitta Karanam is what? The Nimitta Karanam is that which is the cause of just the Utpatti. Just like the potter. The potter makes the pots with the help of the clay. He has to definitely take the clay alone as the material or the input, the main input to make the pots. So the potter is the one who creates it. So just at the as the creator alone, this nimitta karana is there, is admitted. So tatra nimittam nama utpatti matra karanam. Just to bring about the origin or the bring about the effect, that is the making of the effect. The role of the potter ends there. Then upadanam to utpatti sthiti laya karanam. So whereas the upadana is the cause for all the three, that is utpatti, laya, and utpatti, sthiti, and laya. See here also the utpatti karanam, when he says here, there also we have to make a distinction that the potter is an intelligent cause, whereas the clay is the material cause. We won't call the clay intelligent because we can't clay can't have intelligence. So only a sentient entity can have intelligence. So in the same way, that is why the potter is called a nimitta karanam in that way. So intelligent cause in English, there is a translation in English will be like this: intelligent cause and material cause, or the efficient cause and material cause. That also is a synonym for the intelligence. So here he gives a definition of nimitta karanam and upadana karanam. So whereas in the upadana karanam, it is the utpatti, sthiti, laya karanam. So that is, it is the clay, the pot originates from the clay. It sustains only with the background or base as the clay, because when we separate the clay from the pot, there is nothing which we can call as a pot at all. So the pot is nothing but clay alone. Then it's laya karanam. So when the pot is destroyed, the clay alone remains there. So there also the pot has originated from the clay. It has sustained or it has existed in clay only. But then when it destroys, it ultimately goes into clay only, or ultimately it remains as clay alone. So in all the three periods of time, actually it is clay alone. Clay alone has not undergone any origin or destruction in this process, whereas the pot alone underwent a state called origin, and there was a brief period of sustenance, and then it got destroyed. So here also what is vyabhicharita and what is avyabhicharita. So these two terms are helpful here. The clay is avyabhicharita. It never goes out of existence in this framework of the pot, in the life of the pot, or in the history or in the charitra of the pot, whereas the pot itself was not there before. It came into existence, it remained for some time, and then it went out of existence. So it becomes, that way it's called vyabhicharita. And this concept has been very nicely demonstrated. It's a very, very seminal teaching of the Vedanta by Bhagavad in the Bhagavad Gita 2.16. So now we can stop this here. There is much more to be covered in this commentary itself. We will continue it in the next class. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochate Moksha Siddhaye Sadbhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Shastram Sharira Mimamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santu Janmani Vidyavinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidhushekara Bharati. Oh, that's such a